Hi, my name is Tim Bockbrader. I'm a landscape architect with Edge, one of the principal owners of Edge, just from childhood growing up out in nature and loving nature. And so that certainly is, I think, for me, probably a fundamental. I've always loved kind of the structure of drawing and architecture. And for me, when I found landscape architecture in high school, it was just like the aha moment of putting the two of those together. And I think there's also kind of a leadership piece through high school sports, again, being a captain of a sport or being a leader on the field. That I think that leadership certainly transpires into practical work that we do on a daily basis. So probably actually it probably didn't come natural to me, but then just through experiences and through school, just kind of teaching it at look at the opposite side of things or getting critiqued and not just stopping at the first design but pushing on through and coming up with more unique things, and certainly a lot of great mentors that kind of challenge that and push that to say, keep going, keep going, keep going. I'd say that's kind of where my design passion has come from, and interests have been. Sustainability, even in urban environments, getting back to this kind of core value of the landscape that was there before, and can we kind of bring that back again, like get back to that fundamental of that basis, and still incorporate that into the design. So I'd say that's probably a pretty strong kind of gravitational pull for me, is blending this kind of built environment with the natural landscape and trying to always reintroduce that, be open to those new experiences or changes, or what the site is telling you, or just the issues of a particular project. Again, I think just over the years, just being trained and seeing and experiencing spaces, we think about spaces differently than people do. I go back to some early design thinking, and relating it to architecture as well. Kind of talk about landscape architects are no different than architects. It's just that our rooms are outside, and so our rooms still have floors, they have ceilings, and they have walls. All of those things are such varied components to it. But I think those are critical pieces of that kind of design thinking, and thinking of space and scale, what makes a space feel good. And oftentimes it's scale, proportion. I think those are the types of things that we visualize them kind of in our mind's eye, to creating that visual element in a model for our client. We can kind of put them into that space before it's ever built, and get it out of our mind's eye a little bit and down into that model so they can walk through and experience it. So um, I'd say the best example of that probably is, certainly working with architects, and working on blending the inside out and the outside in, where we just kind of blur that line between what's the building scope and what's the site scope. Borrowing spaces, right, or making linkages. And so today it's becoming much more organic, free flowing, less controlled by the tool to create it, whether it was drawing lines on paper or putting lines in a computer box. Much more directed again to responding to the natural environments, the natural landscape, wherever you are, not trying to force something that doesn't fit. And I think that's happening more and more every day, certainly. Finding people, finding good people, qualified people, certainly hands to help. And I do think that landscape architecture in particular is going through a great growth spurt right now. And I think everybody coming out of COVID is certainly realizing the value of outdoor spaces and parks. And so I think those are some of the challenges. That's also some where design's going to, right? I think that's a huge opportunity for landscape architecture. And it's also a challenge of finding people to be able to fill all those spots. Definitely be open-minded. Again, not stopping at the first answer. Just challenging yourself kind of beyond that first impression, certainly. Develop solutions to complex problems. And I think communication skills are huge. And that's a part of leadership, I think. And a lot of people are figuring it out as they go, and problem solving as they go. And certainly we don't have it all figured out. And put yourself out there. So it's okay to be weird, be different.